Good afternoon, everybody. This is going to be an intense top 10 shootout with thanks to Boost Mobile as the lights go green and we get it underway to set the tone for the top 10 for tomorrow's Penrite Oil Sandown 500 at Sandown International Raceway. And it's happy birthday, Anton De Pasquale, 29 years of age today, originally from nearby Werribee, out to the west of Melbourne. These days lives up on the Gold Coast. He's feeling the chill out there at the moment. It's showing about 8 degrees, feels like 2 degrees out there at the moment, and therefore he's working those Dunlop Super Soft tyres very hard. He's got 16 career poles to his credit, and on the extreme right of screen there, bouncing on his toes, was Tony D'Alberto, his co-driver that you'll see in action. He's all crossed up before it even starts. He picked up the water and has massively compromised the start to the lap. The corner exit speed will be down, and that is indicative of the enormous challenge that they all face in this session late this afternoon. The down here was where he got in strife at the start of the lap, and he picked up that wet stuff on the left. He gets it through the final corner. Tony's watching in the garage. Third gear, shortcut line out of the final corner at turn 13. Perry Kappa is watching him, and the number at the end was a 10-3 after the challenge at the start.
Very tricky condition.
He's kept the car nice and square here. There's some sunlight on the racetrack now. He sacrifices some track to try and stay in the cleanest, driest possible line there between 11 and 12. Back to the driver's eye here. Fourth gear, fifth gear, up to the control line, and the number is an 11-1. Actually substantially slower than Anton's time. He's slightly slower to this point than Anton De Pasquale, who miraculously has got away with it after that incredible start to his lap. Out of the final corner, hooks it up and over the curb. De Pasquale is watching. They're keeping an eye on proceedings down there at Penrite, and he drops it in at a 1 minute 10.9. Gets the lap under the way. Green flag conditions now for Brodie Kostecki, and we'll see what he can produce. So the best number so far is a 1 minute 10.3. Stanaway's done a 10.9. Heimgartner's done an 11.1. And what can our reigning champion produce? Nice negotiation of 11 and 12 here. He sits it up on the curb on the exit. That looked like a pretty decent exit. He got a lot of throttle angle going. It looks like it could get him to the top, and he's very, very close. He didn't quite get there in the final sector. Anton continues to be P1 after the start of his wild lap. A real mental challenge to be able to wrestle a ton and a half of supercar in these conditions, and this bloke is up for it. His consistency so far this year has been a very, very impressive story. He's got 14 podiums to his credit in 18 races, and that's been the theme of the way he's approached this year. Check it out from the driver's eye viewpoint on the run down to turn 2. The place has got water flowing across it between those two corners. Glides and slides all the way up and over turn 3. Beautiful approach into 4. He got away with that, and he's got the best sector split we've seen so far, Mark, with a 26.7. He's a 10th quicker than Anton.
He's been able to use those green tyres to great effect. He was able to get through turn 1 really nicely, and then he used every little bit of road between turn 3 and turn 4 up on the exit curb. Can he get through into turn 9 without making a mistake? He makes a little mistake, but he ended up getting it to the apex. It actually had a little bit of a wheel lock and a little wiggle in the last part of the braking area, but he got it done.
Oh, he's dancing in on the rear brake into turn 11. He gets across the water there nicely. He was a couple of tenths slower up the back straight. Bit of wheel speed and hopping across the bumps out the other side on the run towards the control line. And his number is big at the end. He gets it done in the final sector, a 1 minute 10.2 for Will Brown, and a margin of 0.1 of a second over Anton De Pasquale, who's heading north up the back straight, building speed to the best part of 260 odd kilometres an hour. Dancing over the curbs at turn 6, tippy-toe through the water through 7, but not too much curb. Braking, but not too hard so that you don't lock that front left into turn 9. Wheel spin there in second gear, third, fourth through turn 10. Watching and waiting to try and get that thing pulled up straight into the right-hander there, Mark. And he's got away with it just until he got to the last corner, and the thing got crossed up. Is it enough to protect the margins that he had in his sleeve, up his sleeve? P2. He is a Sandown rookie. He's never done a 500k race like this, and he's given himself a great opportunity to capitalise for tomorrow's big race by getting into this Boost Mobile top 10 shootout. Slides it through turn 1, wheel spins out the other side, crosses the river into turn 2, hooks it over the curb at 2 and 3. And a nice approach here into 4. He is pressing on nicely. The sector split comes up. It's the best that we've seen, a 26.73 to open his account.
So the young Kiwi, remember, has got roaded tyres. So the first sector of this lap is the one that you've got to capitalise on. So far, so good. He's been the fastest.
He's driving with Fabian Coulthard, who's enjoying the mentor roll. He's run wide at the end, and he's actually spilled it. He's off the edge of the road, has had to grab the brake, and he's going to end up in the gravel. So Ryan's made a little mistake.
Hey, mate, press on, mate, press on. Get over the line if you can.
They know that the clock continues to run.
Yeah, complete the lap, mate, complete the lap.
Had to wait a little while to settle the rear of the car coming onto the straight. What is it going to total when he gets there? And it is a 1 minute 11.6.
Tough conditions there.
Chaz is not quite there at the moment. It pushed a little bit through the final corner, sat him up on the curb, and he gets down to that control line now. What is the number? And he has done a job good enough to get into position number 5 with a 1 minute 10.7, half a second away from the Will Brown number. Best we've seen was a 26.7 to Sector 1, Ryan Wood. And it's exactly 1/10 slower for Brock Feeney in this first reference. We're going to get a second indication in just a moment at the end of the back straight. And what's it look like for the bloke who's sitting third in this championship? And he's equalled the best that we've seen. Barely able to get it pulled up down the bottom there. It's such a challenge to coat those tyres with water and still pull up at turn 9. Out the other side in the final sector now. The lap is done and dusted very quickly around here. Big surface change into 11. Nicely straddles the water through that last little transition, and out the other side. This is going to be very close. At the moment, Brown is on top. Does he knock him off when we get there? Not quite. Brock drops in position number 5 at 10.6, and therefore Will Brown gets the Boost Mobile pole position, and he'll start in the primary spot for his teammate Scott Pye, and it's happiness inside that garage. Nice work.